Hello, Da Vinci. Welcome back. This is our Friday, the 12th of February, 2021 arithmetic maths. I'd like you to get yourself ready. I'm looking around for my ruler, and I know it's here. I've got a good sized one today, not a silly sized one that was rubby like yesterday. Right, so let's get ourselves ready. Challenge 1, challenge 2. Let's fly through these so that we can end our week nice and super. Okay, challenge. If you've not paused the video now, go and do it. Right, challenge 1. 14 take away 10. Starting off on making my screen nice and big for you. There we go. Starting at 14, it says I'm going to take away 10. Okay, so I'm going to count back 10. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my answer is 4. 7, add 1. I can do that in my head. 7, add 1 more, that's going to be 8. I could also put 7 fingers up and add 1 more finger. 7, 8. Right, 2 lots of 5. Now, 2 lots of 5, that's like saying I've got 2 groups. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each group. I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Something take away something is 5. 5 take away 0. 6 take away 1. 7 take away 2. Keep going. 8 take away 3. Make sure that's an 8. 9 take away 4. And I could keep going all the way, knowing that this side goes up, this side goes up as well. Right, let's move over to challenge 2 now. 84, writing that in. 84 take away 14. 4 take away 4. If I start with 4, I take away 4, I've got nothing. 8 take away 1. Well, I know if 7 add 1 is 8, then 8 take away 1 is going to be 7. My answer is 70. Right, 10 lots of 7. Now, 10 lots of 7 is the same as saying, swap them around, 7 lots of 10. So 7 lots of 10, I can do that because I can count in my tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Now I had 7 fingers up and I just counted each one of them. So my answer is 70. Oh, just like the first answer. 6 add something is 52. So what I could do is I could try and work out what that big gap is in the middle there. Or, just like our division and our multiplication, if we swap the numbers around and change the sign in the middle, you can actually figure it out much easier. So I'm going to change it round. I'm going to put 52 first. So there's my 52. I've put that first. Done that. Then instead of doing an add, I'm going to change it to the opposite. Now, what's the opposite of add? The opposite of add is going to be take away. Now, the only number that I've got left to work with is 6. So 6 is going to go there. Now, if I left that blank and I put equals 6, I'm in the same problem that I've got here. I've got a huge number to try and take away, and I've got no idea what I ends up other than it ends in 6. So I'm going to change it, and I'm going to put my 6 as being that number that I'm taking away. And that will mean that that should give me the answer that's left over in that space. So 52 take away 6. Well, if I do 52 take away 6, well, I know that 6 is made up of 2 and 4. So if I take away 2 first, 50 take away 2 is going to be, 52 take away 2 is going to be 50. Now I need to do 50 take away 4. Now, what's 50 take away 4? Well, I could do it in this method here. I could put the whole thing in this method here, actually, if you wanted to. Why don't we do that? So we put the whole thing in that method there. We put 52 in here, and we take away 6. Well, 2 take away 6 I can't do. So I'm going to borrow from my 5 and make it a 4. I'm going to put a 1 in front of my 2. So now it's 12 take away 6. Well, 12 take away 6 is much easier to do because I can even do that on my ruler. So 12 take away 6. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My answer is 6. Now I've got the 4 left over. So the answer is 46. So my answer of that is going to be 46. So let's now check. If I get rid of that line there, because that might confuse us, and I'm going to get rid of that line there, because that's going to confuse us, and get rid of all this here. Let's now check. If I write in 46 here, and I rub out this now, and I write in 46, add 6. Let's see whether it still works. Well, 6 add 6 I know is 12. So 2 is going to go there. My 1 from 12 is going to go up here. Change the 4 to a 5. 5 add nothing is 5. My answer is 52, which is the same answer I got there. Super. We managed to work it out by switching the question round. That was much easier. Something add something is 24. Lots and lots of different ways you can work this out. Just like this side and just like all the other ones. 24 add 0. Then you could do 23 add 1. And then you could keep going all the way until you got to 20 add 4. You could even jump down. You could do 15 add, and then what I'd do is I'd add 5 to get to 20, and then I've got 4 left over to add. So 5 and 4 is 9. So 15 add 9 is 24. I could do 14, and I know that 14 is only 1/10 difference between 14 and 24. So then I add it to be 24. I add 10. Right. Let's move on. Can I divide by 10? We've done 2. We've done 5. We're doing 10 now. We're grouping in 10s. Right. Now, this is something that I'm just going to very quickly go over now, because I don't want us to ever get confused. If I put myself there. So, select the multiples of 10. Now, that's a really, really fancy word of saying all the numbers that come in the 10 times table. So just like when we've done our 2 times table, we said 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Any number that ends in a 2, 4, a 6, 8, or is in the 10s, which means it ends in a 0, is in the 2 times table. Just like we said when we're doing the 5 times table, we said any number that ends in a 5, or any number that ends in the 10 times table with a 0 is going to be in the 5 times table. So you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They all end in 5s or 0s. Now, this is just like this, but multiples of 10. What's in the 10 times table? It's all the numbers that end in a 0. So you can see here, this ends in a 2. That's not in the 10 times table. This ends in a 5. That's not in the 10 times table. This ends in a 1. That's not in the 10 times table. But this here ends in a 0. This ends in a 0. And this ends in a 0. They're all multiples of 10. So here's an array. Let me move myself back up here. How many groups of 10 are there? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. So going across in a row says that there are 10 in each row. So now what I need to do is I need to do how many rows? Well, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 rows in this array. There are 4 with 10 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you can see they all line up perfectly. That's how you can tell it's an array, because they all line up perfectly. If they don't line up perfectly, you know that then there's something wrong. It's not an array. But you can see here that there's all got 10 in each group. There are 4 groups of 10. 4 lots of 10. Right. Now, I mean, before we move on, actually, how many have we got altogether? Well, I don't want to count all of them, but I can easily do it like that. If I know there's 4 lots of 10, I can go 4 fingers up, 10, 20, 30, 40. There's 40 circles there. There's 4 lots of 10. Right. 10 divided by 10. Oof. 10 divided by 10. So I've got 10, and I want to put it into 10 groups. So I've got my 10 groups at the bottom here, which is my 10 white squares. I've got 10 cubes. I don't know how many go in each group. So let's share them. 1 in that group, 1 in that group, 1 in this group, 1 in this group, 1 in that group, 1 in that group. one in that group, one in this group, one in this group, and the final one in this group. Right, let's start again and put the next ones in the next cubes. Oh, there aren't any left. I've put them all in. Right. So how many lots of, sorry, I've got 10, and how many in each group of 10? I've got 1 in each group. So I've got 1 lot of 10 is 10. You see how those numbers are swapped around? The 1's gone there, the 10's gone there, the 10's gone there. So you can see I've just swapped them round. 20 divided by 10 is something. Now, if I've got the multiplication to swap them round, what I can do is I can put the 20 at the end to say that there's 20 and 20, and there's 10 groups, which is my 10 groups here. There's the 10. So then the final number, my multiplication says it here for me. It tells me how many is in each group, but that's what I'm missing at the information. Now, one of the ways I could work it out is I could put 1 in each group and then figure out, actually, I'm going to need to go back and put another in each group. But I also know that if I had 10 and I had 10 groups, I had 1 in each group. But now I've got 20, I've got double the amount I started with, but I've still got 10 groups. So it means that I'm probably, or I'm definitely going to have 2 in each group now, because my 2 in each group means that it's exactly what it was before, but we'll still check together. We'll put 1 in this side and we'll put 1 in each. I tell you what, that's probably easier if I do it like this. Let's do it like this. If I take this column first, this is 1 lot of 10, and I put them and I share them all in each group to see how many I can get in. So I'm going to put 1 in each group. Drag these 4 down here so I don't turn around, just so I don't have to drag them as far. Down there, down there, down there, and down there. Now, you can see I've got 1 in each group, but I don't have all of the squares put away yet. I need to put more away. So put 1 in this side and 1 in that side. And I keep going now to fill every single one with 2. Move all these down here so I don't need to drag as far. And just leave 1 up there because I'm mean. And 1 in that one, and that one, and that one, and yeah. Oh, nope. Nope. Yeah. And yeah, we were right. We thought that because we've got double the number we started with last time, we have 20 this time rather than having 10. We're absolutely right. We have 2 in each group. We have 20 we started with. We have 10 of the white squared groups, and we've got 2 in each group. Right, now we've got 30 flowers. Can you put them into groups of 3? So before I start, I'm going to write out my number sentence. So it says, I've got 30 flowers. Now remember, when we're doing this sign here, remember what that sign is? It's the division sign. We always start with our biggest number first because you cannot do it if you do not have the biggest number first. So our numbers that we've been given is 30, and we've been told how many groups of 3. That's not 3 groups. If it was 3 groups, it'd go there, but it's not 3 groups. It says how many groups of 3. So groups of 3 goes in this last box here. Now, how many groups can we make? So let's find out. So I'm going to draw around groups of 3. So there's 3. Let's do another one. There's 3. Let's do another one. There's 3. Let's do another group of 3. There's 3. And another group of 3. And another group of 3. And another group of 3. Just making sure that each time I'm always grouping 3. 3 is the fullest it can be. It can't have any more. So I need to make sure I've always got 3. Right. Check if I've got any more that I've missed. Nope, not under me anymore. No, they've all been grouped. So there's got none left. They've all been put in a full group. Now let's check. I've got 1 group, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 30 split into 10 groups is 3 in each group. Spot on. Now the other way you could do it And this is not what the question is asking for. It is not what the question is asking for, but it's just showing you and reminding you there are always two ways for your division. So still starting with 30, if it said, instead of groups of 3, it said put in to 3 groups like this. How many in each group? Well, that would be just like doing this and putting them all across. And there is one group. That is another group. And that is another group. And because they're in an array, I know there's exactly the right amount in each group. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10. And you can see I've just swapped those numbers around. Can you see how those numbers have just been swapped around? They've swapped over places. Now, although that's not what the question's asking me for, I just wanted to remind you of how they can swap over. Use the array to complete the number sentence. Now it says there 3 lots of 10 is 30. 10 lots of 3 is 30. So let's do this number array here. So we're going to complete it in. So 3 lots of 10 is 30. Now, how many do I have altogether? What's my biggest number out of that number sentence? 3 lots of 10 is 30. Well, my biggest number is 30, and that's always the one that's going to go first. Now, that's how many I've got all together here. I've got 30 together there. Now, I'm going to put them in groups of 3. I'm going to put them in groups of 3. So that's going to be that number there. Now, how many groups of 3 will I have? Well, let's check. I'm going to have 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, 4 groups of 3, 5 groups of 3. Come on, 6 groups of 3, 7 groups of 3, 8, 9, 10. So now I've got 30 altogether. I've put them into groups of 3. How many groups did I have? I said I've managed to get 10. 30 made into 10 groups is 3 in each group. And now what I can do, just like on the one before, I can swap them round. I can say there's 30 and I can divide it by 3 groups. And how many, if I divided it by 3 groups, how many would I have in each group? Well, I'd have 1 group, 2 groups, and 3 groups. How many's in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10. Right, next question. We've got another set here. It says you've got 40 altogether here. That's how I can tell, because my multiplication numbers tell me I've got 40 altogether. So I now know that instead of having to count them all, I'm going to put 40 here. Now, how could I group them? Well, I could group them, just because it's an array, I can group them in columns. So there's one column. Now, how many have I grouped there? I've grouped in one column, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've grouped in 4s. So I'm going to put my answer of 4 in each group. Now, how many groups? Let's check. So I've done 1 already, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there, 8, 9, 10. Just like the last question, I've made 10 groups. Now let's swap them round. I'm going to have 40 again as my starting number, but this time instead of 10 groups, I'm going to make how many groups? 4 groups. Now my answer should be 10 in each group, because remember, these two can swap over. So shall we see? Let's do it. There's 1 group there. That is 1 whole group. Now, let's see whether or not I can still make 4 groups. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, and you can see them going across in the rows. Now, how many do I have in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, absolutely right. 10. The numbers have just swapped over. Super. When you know your multiplication, you know your division. When you know your division, you can swap them over to be your multiplication. What's always worth remembering when you're doing division, this symbol here, your biggest number goes first. When you're doing a multiplication, like this one here, you can see that your biggest number is going to be your answer. Now, that's not always the case, but for these, it absolutely is, and it will be for our year 2s, okay? Now it's your turn. Let's see whether you can do this. It says you've got 20 crayons. So they're all here in front of you. That's your total amount. So that's the number that goes at the beginning. How many packs can you make? Now it says packs of 10. That's like saying groups of 10. So how many groups of 10 crayons can you make? So it's saying you've got 20 as your starting number, your total. You're making 10 in each group. You're making 10 in each group. How many groups can you make? Try and answer that one out for me. Next one. There are 10 groups of cubes. Can you complete the division number sentence to match the groups? There's 10 groups of cubes. 10 groups of cubes. Challenge 2. Here are some crayons. How many packs of 10 can you make? How many packs of 10? Well, I can tell you now, if you're not sure on how many there are here, I don't want you to strain your eyes or anything. There are packs of 10. You can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each one of these is going to be one group, okay? Just don't want you to strain your eyes because I've not given you the amount. So the total amount is going to be 40, okay? I'm going to let you work the rest out. Here you go. Here are some coins. How many groups of 10 can you make? Complete the sentence below. There are this many groups of this many, and divide and create the number sentence. I'm going to not give you the number for this because you do need to count this one. If you don't count this one, you will get it wrong because I might have made a trick on this one for you. Challenge 2 and 3. Rosie has these number cards. Complete the number sentence using only these cards. You're not allowed to make your own cards up. You can only use these cards. Are there any other ways you can complete the sentence? Challenge 3. Complete the missing numbers. Read them carefully. Challenge 3. Tommy has 199 stickers for his sticker book. He can fit 10 stickers on each page. How many pages can Tommy fill, and how many stickers will be left over? Extension. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. You need to read this question. Here is a scale with weights on. Now, a scale is where you have each side has weight on. It will tell you which side's heavier. It says both sides have an equal weight, an equal amount of weight, which means this side is going to be the same weight as this side. So they are going to be the same amount, but they're made up of different tiny amounts for this side. It says calculate the weight of one brown box. So if this side is 70 kilos, 70 kilograms, this side is 70 kilograms, but it only tells you how much these weigh. You need to work out how much that is together, how much this will be left over from that taken away from the 70, and then tell me how much each of these boxes will weigh. How much does one brown box weigh? Tricky questions, but I know you can do it if you really try. Thank you very much, Da Vinci. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.